And so, but I think, not the communication piece feeds into what I think the biggest challenge is for a lot of people. And that is not living, I call it like the Disney effect, right? So everybody has.
I know where you're going.
Oh, you know where I'm going. So like everybody has this like idea. It's like they want the fairy tale, but they don't want it to do what it takes to, get that fairy tale, right? Like they only live happily ever after at the end of the story.
Yep.
Exactly. So our end of the story is when we're going to heaven's gates together. Like our lives are over, basically. And so people just want the end of the story without having going through the process of what it takes to get that result. And so Cinderella or any of the other Disney movies, it's not just like all rainbows and unicorns
struggled
until like the end, right? Like they're going through like craziness to find their Prince Charming or to dance with the Beast or to be with the Beast or whatever the plot line is. Like they're going through all this stuff, but all everybody sees and all everybody wants is the very ending of the movie.
Yeah.
And it's like, you haven't even gone, like you're not even at chapter 1, but you want chapter 20.
You're at the conclusion, my friend.
Right. And so I think people have this, and what it does is people get this idea in their head of exactly who they want. Like girls are like, oh, he's got to be this, he's got to be that, he's got to be that. Guys do it too. He's got to look like this. She's got to do this for me. She's got to do that for me. Yeah. It's like, and then when you get a good person that does basically all of that, except maybe they're not as strong in one area, then it's like, oh man, there goes my ideal person. And it's like, nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
And so
that's actually, I have an example about that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But it's like, yeah, nobody's perfect. So it's like, get somebody who compliments you, right? Who's going to be, back to one of our little sayings, your weighted blanket, right? Who's going to just be that security for you, who's going to hold you down, right? You don't want somebody that is just checks all the boxes, like an idealistic box. You want somebody who's like real, who's going to actually go through the process of life with you. And so I think that's the biggest challenge that people face, because they're always looking for an ideal instead of a human that they can instead of a real person that they can walk through life with. And so what was your example though?
So my example, in terms of like expectations versus reality. So I was watching this show called Married at First Sight, Unmatchables. And this guy, he's probably like 5'7", like a normal looking guy. But his ideal woman was someone who had just a woman that was like extremely attractive. And so what the experts did, they brought in like just normal women, and they compared what he expected out of a woman, and they gave their perspective of like, okay, if this woman is extremely attractive, she should be with this kind of man. And after he heard what they were saying, he was like, okay, maybe I need to chill out my expectations a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that goes into what you were saying.
Right. And it's like, what are your expectations versus, like, do your expectations match like
what you can provide?
Well, what you can provide, but also like what a real meaningful relationship reflects.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you want this ideal person, but does that ideal person but you want like the long-term steady relationship. Does that ideal person match that? It's like a lot of times it doesn't. A lot of times they're just like the trophy for you. And so really finding that complement, back to weighted blanket, that complementary weighted blanket is going to be big.